therefore separated from all that is happening in front of us. Yes. Jai Sachidanand. Yeah.
Jai Sachidanand para todos y los más elevados namaskar al ser absoluto presente en cada uno y también presente y consciente de todo lo que está sucediendo.
So let us begin with the three mantra. Greti Hofre Lopez. You want to say hello to us, Greti?
Greti, ¿quieres decir hola a todos?
If you feel like it, we would love to have you join us with the three mantra. If you don't know how to sing it, you can read it.
Sí, sería hermoso que te unieras a todos nosotros cantando el Trimantra y si no lo sabes puedes leerlo.
Okay, so we come back to Marcella. Hola, Marcella. Jai Sachidanand. Three mantra, huh? Three mantra.
Hi. Yeah. Me?
Yeah, three mantra.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Namo Vitragai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loe Sauva Sahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Sauva Pavapanachano, Mangalanam Cha Sauvesim, Parmam Habai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai. Om Namah Shivaya. Yay, Satchitanand. Another?
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, now we'll have Gavi sing it. Okay, Gavi?
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Namo Vitragai, Namo Harihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Hayariyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Sawapawapanashano, Mangalanam Cha Savesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Sachitanand. Namo Vitragai. Namo Harihantanam. Namo Siddhanam, Namo Hayariyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Sawapawapanashano, Mangalanam cha Sauvesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Sachitanand. Jai Sachitanand. Jai Sachitanand. Jai Sachitanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Wonderful.
Jai Sachitanand.
Beautifully recited as well as spoken three mantra from our dear Mahatmas.
Hermosamente hablado y cantado por nuestros Mahatmas el Trimantra.
Yeah. You know, my dear friends, when we have arrived at a very amazing understanding, all of us, we have arrived at a very amazing understanding that every human being is indeed free and liberated. The only thing that keeps him bound or imprisoned or attached to this world is his own attachment or aversion, abhorrence or attachment inside. Otherwise, the world is as it is, you see.
Hemos llegado a un maravilloso entendimiento y todo ser humano es libre y lo único que lo tiene.
Your microphone is blocked, muted. Patricia, your microphone. What's happening? You're muted.
No.
Oh, okay, now, yeah. Say it again.
I repeat. Hemos llegado al maravilloso entendimiento y todo ser humano es libre y lo único que lo ata es su propio apego y aversión y el mundo es tal cual es.
It is, and the real reason behind that attachment and aversion, and the real reason behind that connection with this world is not these children of mine or my home or my wife or my husband. That is not the reason why we are connected. The reason is our own hook, our own attachment, aversion reactions, and the reason for that is because we do not have the light. We human beings do not know that this is the problem. This is the problem.
Yes. Lo real está más allá de todo apego y aversión. Y cuando no estás en... y lo real no es, esta es mi casa, mi marido, mis hijos. Este es el propio apego que cada uno tiene, ¿no? Como el gancho que lo mantiene atado. Y por eso no puede ver la luz, no puede ver esa luz.
And to the extent to which you become vitarag, unattached, through the light of yours inside, I'm coming to Marcella in a minute, to the extent with which you become vitarag, you become free. You see, so the attachment, the hook is the problem. The hook is the problem because the world is prepared with all kinds of hooks. You see, the world, everyone in this world has got this hook, and the moment you come in, now you're gone. You come down with it. You see. The nature of the Pudgal, the non-self complex, is that it will react to every intention that arise inside a human being, you see.
Yes. Cuando nos volvemos vitarag y apegados a la luz, estamos liberados. El problema es que el gancho a todo lo que surge en el mundo tiene todos estos ganchos y nosotros entramos y queremos y caemos. El Pudgal reacciona a cualquier situación Y ese es el problema, ese es el gancho. El mundo tiene montones de ganchos donde entramos
Yes.
y respondemos a eso, ¿no? Y todo depende de las intenciones que tengamos dentro.
Yes, my dear, where are you? Marcela?
Bueno, Dada siempre habla de la salvación del mundo, ¿no es cierto? Y pedimos por la salvación del mundo. ¿De qué tiene que ser salvado el mundo?
Okay. That is always talking about the world, the salvation of the world, and she wants to know about what the world has to be free.
Free or safe.
Yes. Salvation of the world means it's not something that can be accomplished by another human being, you see. The salvation of the world arises when one realizes, one wakes up from the darkness that prevails with the automatic attachment to this mind, to this body, and to this word, saying, I am speaking, these are mine, this is my body, don't touch me, or please, please, where are you, I want you. You see, this ownership of this which can never be owned, this body is not something that anyone can become an owner of, you see. And so salvation of the world is when the right light or understanding arises, then the salvation it happens, you see. So salvation is self-realization, you see.
Yes. Dice que la salvación del mundo no puede ser alcanzado por un ser humano. Solo a través de la luz podemos ver, de la luz del conocimiento, podemos ver que no somos esta mente, cuerpo o habla, porque esta mente, cuerpo y habla lo que va a estar diciendo, este es mi cuerpo, no me toques, ¿dónde estás? Que te quiero tener. Y entonces así de esa manera no se puede alcanzar, nadie puede salvarse de eso, ¿no? No podemos ser los hacedores. Y la salvación del mundo es la realización del ser.
Yes, salvation is the opposite of bondage. Salvation means liberation, and the liberation is from this false understanding that arises, the false belief, the wrong belief that exists the moment one wakes up in the morning. You say, oh, I have to do so much, I don't feel like getting up, I don't want to go to work, or I better do this, so all the rushing around. You see, this body and the world of these bodies, the world of these infinite bodies, in fact, all these bodies are already programmed. They are already programmed. And you as Marcella is also programmed, you see. You as Amapura is free from this automatic program.
Salvación es lo opuesto de atadura. Y salvación es liberación. Debido a las creencias erróneas, nos despertamos a la mañana y decimos, oh, tengo que trabajar todo lo que tengo que hacer, y sale todo lo que tenemos adentro. Y el mundo, este es el mundo de estos infinitos cuerpos que ya están programados. Marcela está programado. Ahora el alma pura de Marcela es libre.
Yes, the bondage, the suffering, the pain in this world is not because of this world, not because of what others are doing. The pain and the suffering in this world is because of this fundamental lack of the exact awareness of what is going on, what makes a good thought come up, what makes one do something good, what makes a human being do something wrong and bad. What is it that is happening? Why is it happening? You see, and this is the fundamental reason for suffering. That is called bondage. You see, the one who suffers is the one who needs to understand, needs to have the light, needs to have the light, you see, the light of the self, light of the self.
Las ataduras son el dolor. Y no es por el mundo y no es por otros, es por la falta del conocimiento de lo que está sucediendo. Hay personas que hacen, bueno, esto lo hacemos bien, esto lo hacemos correctamente, hay personas que lo hacen mal y nos preguntamos, bueno, ¿qué es lo que está sucediendo? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? Y fundamentalmente el dolor es el dolor se va y desaparece cuando podemos entender, y lo podemos entender cuando tenemos la luz del ser.
Every human being, by his presence as a human being, has this light and awareness inside him or her, but he himself has gone far away from that light by being trapped in what is happening to this body. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel good. Oh, he is mine. Oh, I hate her, you see. All of those things, you see, they go far away from their own light inside, you see. It's not their fault. It is, they simply have not been aware of this, you see. They have not woken up to this magnificent light inside them. That light is the Lord inside, you see.
Yes. Todo ser humano, por su presencia, tiene la luz del ser en él, pero se fue lejos de la luz por estar atrapado por lo que le pasa al cuerpo, por lo que quiere el cuerpo, por lo que no quiere el cuerpo. Y entonces así no hay luz, falta la luz. Se fueron de su propia luz, de la luz del Lord.
You see, not only that the light is within me or in Gabi or in Luz, but I am the light. I am the light. And this Gabi, this Luz, this Shuddha, this body, wakes up in the morning and goes to bed at night. And from morning till night, it does everything. Everything is happening to it, but it says, I'm doing it. I am doing it. I did it good, and that was bad, you see.
Yo soy la luz, ¿no? Y estos están todos, pero Gaby, Luz, Shuddha, son los cuerpos. Estos cuerpos se levantan en la mañana y a la noche se acuestan. Y en el medio sucede todo lo que sucede. Y la creencia errónea es que yo lo hice, o lo hice bien, o lo hice mal.
Yeah, it's a some other authority, some other energy is making this think, move, talk, think, feel, or some other authority is doing it and he says, I am doing it. Some other authority is doing what is happening to this body. And he says, I am doing it. He says, I am doing it. I am doing it. You see, some other authority. Dada says some authority is making him dance, and he says, I'm dancing. I'm a good dancer.
Hay otra autoridad, una energía que es la que hace que todo suceda. Y sin embargo, nos hace hablar, pensar o lo que sea, pero nosotros decimos yo lo hago, yo pienso, yo hablo, y eso está bajo otra autoridad, otra energía. Dadashri decía, estaba bailando y decía, yo bailo, también que bailo.
So you say this, they just every Dada calls them, Dada has given a very special term for this. Dada has given a very special name for this, and it is called Bummerdo. Bummerdo? What is Bummerdo? Bummerdo. 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 Is Bummerdo. What is Bummerdo? You have this toy, right? Little children play this toy, this is a colorful wooden toy with a little pin at the bottom, and you put a string around it, and then you throw it on the ground and it spins and it makes beautiful colors, and then another one throws and they're all spinning. So these are all spinning toys, you see. These are spinning toys. These are all spinning toys. Sometimes they collide with each other as they're spinning, and then you think that it will fall down, but then after a while it just gets up again. It's still spinning and it continues to spin, you see. Dada calls each and every one Bummerdo, you spinning top, you spinning top. You think you are running this world of yours? Do you think you're running this world of your own body? Are you? Yeah? Bummerdo.
Dada dice, tiene un término especial, un nombre especial para esto, y lo llama bámbaro. Y es un trompo que gira, que tiene colores y que cuando uno tira la cuerda comienza a girar. Y somos todos como juguetes giratorios, ¿no? Y a veces unos juguetes se chocan con otros y puede ser que colisionan y puede ser que alguno se caiga o que otros continúen. ¿Y tú crees que manejas el mundo? ¿Tú crees que manejas este cuerpo?
Yeah, you see. We need self-realization. Dada says salvation of the world is through. Salvation of this world is through realizing. It begins at the individual level. It begins from inside. It begins not from outside. It begins from inside. You see? It begins from inside.
Ya dice que la realización del ser es la salvación del mundo. Y esta realización comienza en el interior, dentro.
Yeah, it begins from inside, my friends. You see, so that is why, so the one who has realized, the one who comes into the non-spinning stage, you see, let the body spin, let the mind spin, let the words spin, let I am the still one, you see. The spinning top of Shuddha will continue to spin, of Gabi and Patricia will continue to spin, but I have come to the center. In the center there is no spinning, you see. In the center of the wheel, no matter how much the wheel is spinning, the center is always still, you see. The wheel is spinning, but the center is always still, you see. And we have come into the center. To know who am I in all of this is to come home, you see, is to attain salvation. So our salvation has happened. Each one of us, we are liberated. And that is exactly how the world gets liberated, one by one, by one, by one, by one. You see?
Yes.
Mm.
Estando en el interior y estando en el centro, por eso es que es la realización y estar en el espacio del ser en el centro. Y después el juguete girará, Gaby girará, Patricia girará, pero nosotros sabemos quiénes somos, que el que gira es el juguete. Estamos en el centro, estamos en el hogar y esa es la salvación. Ya todos estamos liberados y así es la forma en que el mundo se libera, uno por uno por uno.
And like Marcella now, you see, when the light arises inside, and this light you can see that I am the light, Soyama Pura, I am the light, and in this light I see the spinning Pudgal, the spinning top of Marcella. I see Marcella. Then you begin to experience the first drops of bliss. You see, you eternal. You have come home, so you are now in bliss eternal, bliss that is eternal. It cannot go away, and in that stillness you begin to see the deficiencies of Marcella, the faults of Marcella, where she still needs, where and you don't have to correct those faults. These are part of the creation. Marcella was created in the last life, and now she is. That's how it is. That is how she is. That's how Shuddha is. That is how Graciela is, you see, or Gonzalo or Christianis. That is how it is. That's it. And you have entered the world of the liberated ones, you see. You have entered the world of the eternal. Yeah, that is the salvation. Your salvation has happened. My salvation has happened. That is how you can say with authority, you can say that I am free now, you see. You can say that. You can say that.
Como Marcela ahora está en la luz, puede ver que ella es alma pura, que sos alma pura. Y podés ver cómo gira Marcela, el pudgal de Marcela. Entonces comienzas a experimentar la dicha eterna. Y esta dicha no puede irse de ninguna manera. Y es en esa dicha que puedes ver a Marcela y que puedes ver las faltas de Marcela. Pero estas faltas fueron creadas en la vida pasada. Y por eso somos así. Shuddha, Patricia, Gabriela, Marcela, podemos ver, y esto fue creado en vida pasada, pero ahora entramos en el mundo de lo eterno, y así se libera el mundo, se salva el mundo. Y nosotros podemos decir ahora con total autoridad que somos libres, que fuimos libres, que somos liberados.
Yes. And for the one who gets liberated, for every one who gets liberated through this light, you see, within, this is the light, you have entered the domain of infinitely brilliant light, you see, of knowledge, infinite knowledge, you see. For the one who enters into this, it is a natural awareness. This awareness is Soyamapura, you see. And there is this associated feeling-based awareness. There is associated that may the world, may everyone else too attain this easy freedom from all suffering. It is so easy. It is so easy. Suffering was because of this inability to see, and now I can see, and therefore I become free from suffering. You see?
Y por el que fue liberado por esta luz interior, entramos en la infinita luz y en el infinito conocimiento. Y entonces es natural la conciencia del alma pura. Y esto está asociado también con que absolutamente todos tomen o alcancen esta liberación. Porque todo el sufrimiento que está sucediendo es por la falta de habilidad de poder ver qué es lo que sucede. Por eso todos queremos que todos tengan la liberación.
Yeah, and you see, this is what I mean by, this is what Dada means by salvation of the world. Dada carries with him the energies of a million suns, not just one sun, that kind of energy. He has seen exactly how the world suffers, and he has also seen exactly how easy it is for a human being to become eternally free from suffering, not just temporarily become free from suffering, but forever become free from suffering. He has seen it, and he's sharing that with us, you see. And so it is automatic that that this arises within every human being who gets liberated like this. He'll say, wow, it's so easy. I wish when I see this human suffering everywhere, then I wish that they can also become free from it. You see, it is only a weak human being who uses the weapons of his kashais. It's only a weak human being who becomes angry or greedy or deceptive. You see.
Yes. A esto se refiere Dada, ¿no? Dada carga la luz y la energía no de un sol, de millones de soles. Y él pudo ver como todo el mundo sufría. Y también que es muy fácil para todos salir de este sufrimiento. Por eso él lo compartió y lo compartió con todos nosotros. Y esto es automático en cada uno que fue liberado. El querer que el mundo deje de sufrir, que todos los seres dejen de sufrir. Y dejar los kashais, ¿no? Pudo ver que los kashais, el enojo, la ira, la codicia, el engaño, que todas esas son las ataduras, ¿no? Y esto es lo que todos queremos.
Mhm. 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 You know, sometimes in the garden, if you are a gardener, and you this is just this vision that just occurred to me. Sometimes you know if you're rearranging things in the garden, and sometimes you pick up a rock, a stone or rock, just pick it up, and below you see all kinds of insects and ants, little ants, running away because they liked to be in that shelter of that of the space of the rock, you see, that you just lifted it up, and below you see so all of these insects and running away in different directions, you see.
En el jardín, por ejemplo, si estás haciendo trabajos de jardinería, lo estás arreglando, por ahí levantas una piedra, y cuando levantas la piedra ves montones de insectos y hormigas que salen corriendo, porque ellos se sentían protegidos debajo de la roca o de la piedra.
So it is with every living being that when their shelter is what they consider shelter is injured by storms or bombs, you see, they run away from that, you see. They run away. You see.
Todos los seres humanos también cuando tienen su refugio, si hay una tormenta o hay bombas, todos también corren.
Mm-hmm. Yes. These are the effects, you see, and the awakened one, the enlightened one, the one with the light can see effects of all kinds, you see, effects that are happening to the little insects all the way to the effects that are happening to this body, you see. This body has effects too, is effective. So the effects are to be seen, they're not to be suffered, you see. You see the effects. That is how it is.
Yes. Y así todos los seres humanos estamos bajo estos efectos, ¿no? Estos efectos como los insectos. Y esos son efectos, y los que están conscientes ven los efectos. Entonces vemos como las hormigas corren y este cuerpo tiene que ser visto también, no sufrido, tiene que ser visto.
So it's natural that Marcella, that Dada, who has seen how easy it is for human beings to come to what is there, right, what is there, what is really theirs, and to move away from what is not theirs, you see, to come to what is mine and to move away from what is not mine, you see, is liberation. You see, is liberation. That's all. Just don't, and it is as easy as turning on the light in this room, you see. You turn on the switch and you can, everything is so clear, you see. Everything is so clear.
Es natural, ¿no? Dada dice que él lo vio, lo fácil, que es venir derecho a la luz, salir de lo que no es y venir a lo que sí soy. Y esto es tan fácil como encender la luz de esta habitación, solamente encender el interruptor.
Yes, my dear Gabi. Yes. So Marcella, you understand, right? You understand this concept of salvation of the world, or do you have any questions? More question about it?
No.
Good. Okay. Good.
Está bien, está bien. Yo pensaba que en el fondo era de la ignorancia, ¿no? Salvarnos de la ignorancia. Esa era como mi primera respuesta, Patti.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
You understand. Yes.
Yeah. The salvation has, has to be of the ignorance. You see, you're right.
Ignorance. Yes, yes.
Ignorance.
Sí, la salvación es de la ignorancia, salvarnos de la ignorancia, sacarnos de la ignorancia.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to. You cannot drive out darkness. You see. You cannot say, darkness, get out, darkness, get out, darkness, get out. By sitting in the dark, you cannot say, darkness, get out. In order to, you have to get out of the darkness. And you say, oh, aha, now everything is clear. And then you don't have to worry about darkness, you see. Darkness automatically cannot exist where you exist. Soy Amapura, there is no darkness. You see. And tú también eres alma pura, you too are a pure soul, is no darkness, you see. And that is everyone in Ukraine who has left their homes because their homes have been bombed. Everyone is, they're absolutely pure souls who, as the pure souls, are beyond suffering. They do not suffer. It is their physical accounts, that are coming into effect. You see, it is their accounts that are coming into effect.
Yes. No podemos manejar la oscuridad, no le podemos decir a la oscuridad que se vaya. Soy yo la que tiene que salir de ahí y podemos salir diciendo yo soy alma pura. Soy alma pura, es luz, no hay oscuridad. Y por ejemplo en Ucrania todos están dejando su hogar, están saliendo porque están siendo bombardeados. Y ellos son alma pura y están más allá del sufrimiento. Y todas estas son cuentas que están dando un efecto.
And you see some lovely children, beautiful children, they leave this entire country, just smiling, happy. They're happy to be in another exciting place called Poland, or where they're, have lots of things to play with, etc. They have they are totally spared this horrors of absolute destruction, you see. So these accounts are so precise. These accounts are so precise, you see.
Yes. Podemos ver también a estos bellos niños que están felices de poder ir a Polonia o a otros lugares, ¿no? Y están como ir a jugar. Ellos tienen como una visión diferente. Y todas estas son cuentas absolutamente precisas.
Absolutely precise account. One more point I want to share with you before I go to Gabi. We'll go to Gabi, and this is, two nights ago I saw two very old men, who were rescued and now were sitting. They were friends from cities which has been absolutely decimated, devastated, the Mariupol city, you see. And these two gentlemen, very old, in their 80s or maybe, early 90s, they were just rescued and now are sitting in a bus, and they're going to be taken into outside the country, you see. And one of the gentlemen, one of the old men, he speaks in Russian, you see, who said, I was in Russia when the Germans attacked us, you see, and the German soldiers came. But the German soldiers did not do. They left the children and the women alone. They did not treat me like I'm being treated by my own countrymen, you see. These people are killing women and children, and he used some words, in his own language. And sorry, I'm going too long, but I'll just give you the last sentence. Just imagine this man suffered in similar things in the hands of German, but he says this is even worse. And this is his current life discharge. Once in World War II with Germany and Russia and Stalin, and now again here, in Ukraine. He thought he was finally safe in a safe country, and again it happens. Look at his discharge effect. Look at his discharge effect,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Hace dos noches atrás estaba viendo a dos hombres mayores, entre 80 y 90 años, que ahora estaban sentados en un micro para ser sacados del país. Y uno de ellos hablaba en ruso y dijo, yo estaba en Rusia cuando Alemania atacó Rusia, pero no me trataron así como me están tratando ahora los rusos, la gente de mi propio país, y no atacaban a los niños como los están y a las mujeres como los están tratando o matando ahora. Y fíjense, ¿no?, que este hombre pasó la Segunda Guerra Mundial, Rusia, Stalin, y ahora pensó que estaba a salvo, que estaba tranquilo. Y ahora está sucediendo esto, ¿no? Cómo los efectos se están descargando.
Effect. You see, it's only when you can see effect as effect that you become free, you see. It's only when you can see, S capital C, the effect as effect, then you become free. You see, you cannot get involved in the effect. Involvement in the effect is to keep on spinning again. Oh, this is horrible. This is horrible, you see. Know that it is horrible, but don't suffer with it, you see.
Yes. Solo cuando puedes ver con mayúsculas que el efecto lo puedes ver como efecto. ¿Y cómo lo puedes hacer? No involucrándote. Por ejemplo, dices, esto es horrible o todo esto. Sí, es horrible, pero no sufras, no te involucres, no sufras.
You see, you would think that the old gentleman, had seen enough in World War II, but he's seeing even worse now, you see, and this is how effects are. This is hell. This is living hell, you see. You don't have to go to hell. It's right there in front of you, you see. And we can see it too. You and I can see it too, you see.
Yes. Piensa que este hombre vivió la Segunda Guerra Mundial y ahora ve más horror en su vida. Y la verdad que es como vivir en el infierno, y no tienes que ir al infierno porque el infierno está allí enfrente tuyo.
The light, my friends, this light, if it had to come from an external source, if it had to come from someone else, then it would be, it would be a different matter altogether. It exists within every human being. It exists within every human being. And you see glimpses of that light in many, many human beings who are in that country, you see. You can catch it, you see. But anyway, so we will, the light, I want you to focus on the light and not on the effect. In the light you see the effect. In the absence of the light, it's hell only, or that's how it is. when the light is there, you begin to get an idea that you and I have been through it many, many lives previously. We have been through such things, you see. This is not the only life that we are seeing this effect, you see.
Yes. La luz, esta luz tiene que, es lo que vemos en nosotros. Existe en absolutamente cada ser humano. Y ver en esa luz tanto en los seres humanos, en ese país también, es enfocar la luz y no en el efecto. Porque si miramos el efecto, entonces estamos en el infierno. Esta luz nos da la idea de que nosotros hemos pasado muchas veces también por esos efectos.
Yes, Gaby. Gaby.
Gaby, ¿tenés pregunta?
Sí. Thank you, Shuddha. Mi pregunta es ¿cuál es la relación entre la causalidad de la vida pasada versus el efecto en esta? Como el propósito que hay detrás de eso en las evidencias y Vyavasthit en el fondo, porque venimos de una cultura muy de castigo, pero en definitiva, ¿cuál sería como el propósito de este efecto en la vida de nosotros como seres humanos? ¿Qué se pretende en el fondo con esta ocurrencia?
Which is the relationship of the cause of last life and the purpose of this effect?
Yes, the purpose of every effect. We cause, from the effect you can see the cause, you see. From this, first of all, from the effect, you can begin to see the cause. If you are treated nicely by human beings, it is because you understand the value of good treatment to others, you see.
Yes.
You see.
El propósito, el efecto es por el efecto que ves la causa también, comienzas a ver la causa. Por ejemplo, si tú tratas bien a la gente, es porque reconoces el valor de ser bien tratada, del buen trato.
You see this, every effect, Gaby, every effect is being experienced by a soul in a body, and that effect raises him or her a little higher and a little higher, life after life after life. You see, it's just, the internal knowledge continues to accumulate. Yes, and so there is a progressive evolution of a human being, every human being, through effects. Right now, that that thing that is happening in Ukraine is not the only place where there are horrible things happening. There is a lot of hunger in very many other parts of the world. You know, millions of people are hungry, no food, no water, disease, etc. You see, all of these things are happening. This, you know, all of every effect that a soul undergoes inside, there is knowledge, 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 you see. And there, you know, they rise higher and higher, and of course they also go down also if they hurt. So you know, they go through all of this cause and effect relationships. It is only when, well, you know, it's only the highly evolved souls, highly evolved, not liberated, highly evolved souls whose time has come for liberation, get to ask this question: what's going on? Who am I in all of this? You know, who am I? Who is doing all of this? You see? And they get to ask the question, and again, then they finally meet. They meet spiritual masters who help them, give some answers. So they again go into more and more lives of doing good things, you see, but only, you know, helping others, etc. But liberation is only possible when someone meets a Gnani, a liberated one, you know, who can let them see it all as it is. Wake them up from this, you see, pull them out into the self, you see. Who am I in this? Give them the experience of the self. Soyama pura, you see.
Yes. Todo el efecto ha sido experimentado por el alma en el cuerpo, ¿no? Y en cada vida y en cada experiencia, el ser se va elevando vida tras vida, ¿no? Es una progresiva evolución por los efectos. Ahora sabes que no solamente lo que te está sucediendo en Ucrania, también sabes que hay gente en el mundo, niños, personas que pasan hambre, sed, que existen las enfermedades, pero cada alma que pasa por estos efectos obtiene un conocimiento que los elevan. Puede ser que causen que causen en relaciones efectos, pero bueno, las almas que están altamente no liberadas, pero sí elevadas, van a estar preguntando por la liberación y llegan a la liberación a través de preguntas de qué es lo que está pasando, quién soy yo en todo esto, cómo es que funciona el mundo. Y van a ir encontrando maestros espirituales que les van a ir dando las respuestas. Y puede ser, y también estas personas van a estar teniendo buenas acciones, como que van a ir teniendo buenas acciones, pero hasta que no encuentran un Gnani, hasta que no tienen el Nan, que ahí es como que les dan la experiencia del alma pura.
You see, so Gabi, this thing is, you understand, my dear, this thing is...
Yes, but es que no tenía que ver con lo que tú le tradujiste, Patti, que era el objetivo de comprender la causa, de comprender la causa y el efecto. No, la pregunta era, ¿cuál es el propósito del efecto? ¿Cuál es el propósito del efecto? Es que, ¿qué es lo que busca este efecto? Porque la ocurrencia del efecto es algo que está trascendido en el tiempo, es como atemporal, es como viene la guerra porque vino una guerra antes, otra, miles de guerras anteriores, y estamos en este efecto constante de que cada tanto viene una guerra. Entonces, ¿cuál es el propósito más elevado de este efecto? Porque si no, ¿en qué momento se corta esta recurrencia?
Mientras estemos aquí, no.
Esa es la pregunta. ¿Cuál es el propósito del efecto?
Esa fue la pregunta que le hice. ¿Cuál es el propósito del efecto? She wants to know why, which is the purpose of the effect, because we're living in wars and things, and what is the highest purpose of these effects?
The highest purpose.
Si alguien quiere aportar algo que yo no estoy entendiendo la pregunta por ahí, Anila o Marcela o quien sea.
Yeah, so the highest purpose of
el karma.
yeah, and Anila will come to you. We'll come to you in a minute.
Yeah. El propósito es no involucrarse por una parte, las personas que no tomar un partido por un lado, y por otro lado es que el karma se balancea, o sea, se paga karma, y mientras no estemos en nuestras almas puras todos, va a seguir esta cadena de tener que pagar karma y causar karma. Eso es lo que yo siento.
Claro, esa es la logística. Eso es lo que ocurre. Ese es el efecto. Ese es el efecto. Pero, ¿cuál es el propósito de este efecto? ¿Qué es lo que se espera?
El karma se limpia. El pagar el karma se limpia el karma, pero se vuelve a su vez. Habría que cortar todo.
Pero el efecto está. El propósito del efecto es que lo vivamos, ¿no es cierto? Que vivamos ese karma. Pero ese es el propósito.
No involucrarse.
¿El propósito es solo que lo vivamos?
Es aprender a no involucrarse y elevarnos a nuestra alma pura.
Pero porque nosotros tenemos el conocimiento. Pero y antes del NAN,
que la gente vaya poco
del efecto
entendiendo que tiene un alma pura. El entendimiento de que existe un alma pura para todos y que se den cuenta de eso. Entonces, en la medida que se vayan dando cuenta de su alma pura, esto se va a ir terminando. Pero no aquí, indudablemente, por eso que existen otros mundos para las personas que se dan cuenta.
Entonces tomaría muchos efectos para llegar a ese momento. Claro. De entendimiento. Bueno.
Claro.
Pati,
por ejemplo, en el caso mío, que mi familia es ucraniana y es rusa. Entonces yo no puedo tomar un partido por nada, y eso me da una cierta tranquilidad el hecho de saber que se están pagando karma por un lado, y por otro lado, que ellos, que al no involucrarme y al no pensar en eso, permite que mi alma pura se desligue de todo el efecto que pudiera traer en mi cuerpo, en mi espíritu. No sé si me explico bien.
Pati, pregúntale si el efecto es algo mecánico, es algo que sucede nomás. Simplemente sucede.
Can we just go one by one? First, let's go one by one.
Now is Marcela asking, el efecto mecánico, dijiste, es automático.
Okay, so we'll come
claro,
back to...
es solo algo mecánico, no creo que no tiene ningún propósito.
Listen, my dear friends, take it step by step, you see. We take it step by step, okay? First of all, you have to be constantly aware of the difference between what happens in the lack of light, in darkness, and what is happening in the awareness of the light of the self. These are two different things, you see. You cannot mix the two, then it becomes a complete mixture, you see. So important to separate the world of the people who are ignorant, who are not aware of the self, you see, and what is happening to them, and it cannot be compared to our situation, which is where we now are aware of the nature of effect. Effect is not something that human beings realize. You see, average human being doesn't say this is an effect. For them, it is a very real suffering. You see. You see, so there's a difference. Effect is a word for the awakened one. You know, it's not for the people of the world. They have zero idea of cause and effect. They just, whatever is happening, they say it's happening to me. By God, I'm going to come back. I'm going to take care of you. You know, if I'm running away because I'm weak, but inside, so much causes are created, you see. So that is a totally different. You cannot compare the world of ignorance and the world of light. Okay, go on, Marcia. Okay, Patricia.
Bueno, lo primero que pide Shuddha es que tomemos esto paso a paso, ¿no? Y primero que nada, estar totalmente en conciencia de qué es lo que sucede cuando estás en la oscuridad y qué es lo que y estar en el lugar del ser, en la luz del ser. Y no se pueden mezclar, hay que separar la oscuridad, que es la ignorancia, y estar en la luz del ser, donde tenemos la conciencia y el conocimiento de todo lo que está sucediendo es un efecto. Para los que no tienen este conocimiento y esta conciencia, todo lo que sucede viviendo en la ignorancia es dolor. Esto me está pasando a mí, yo voy a volver a ayudarte, y van creando más causas y están creando más dolor y sufrimiento.
Yeah. You see, so it's very important. The cause and effect, you know, the effect, you know, human beings, very few human beings come to the realization that just because you die doesn't mean that it's all over. You see? Because the body dies, but what's going on inside never dies. It carries on. The hate that you have, if your child has been killed, your little child has been killed by someone, is not something that you can wipe off. You may be run away, you may become an old man, you die, but that hate is a seed, you see, for that does not let you become free from this world of bodies, you see.
Yes. Esto es muy importante, lo de causa y efecto. Pocos vienen a la liberación y no pienses que porque te morís se termina todo, porque te llevas contigo las semillas. Si sentís mucho odio porque un pequeño hijo fue muerto, no puedes desprenderte de este odio, no puedes liberarte del odio, porque es una semilla el odio.
See this in continuation of the question of Gabi, you know, after life of effects, you know, suffering. That soul takes birth in lands and areas where there are enlightened or awakened human beings, you see. You know, Dada says they take birth in India, you see. Those souls where there is a fundamental, basic, intrinsic understanding of life after life. Even though they may not be able to see it in exactness, they have some awareness that there is a life after life after life, you see. You know.
Para Gaby es esto, ¿no? Que para terminar, vida tras vida, vamos viviendo los efectos, vamos viviendo los efectos, ¿no? Y en la medida en que vas evolucionando, naces en tierras donde hay iluminados, donde hay iluminación. Y en este entendimiento de vida tras vida, pasan a ser en este lugar, donde puedas obtener la liberación.
Just because he gets born in India doesn't mean he is going to get liberated. There he will have countless lives as human beings where he will keep on searching, through the intellect. How do I become free? How do I become free? How do I become free from all of this suffering? You see, I'm an old man now. I'm an old woman now. I've been through all kinds of experiences of life, but how do I become free? And
¿Lista, Javi?
Mhm.
Perdón.
Mhm.
Shall I translate, Shuddha?
Yeah. You see, just because you get born in India doesn't mean you become free.
Yes.
No,
I
yeah.
got it. Nacer en India no te garantiza absolutamente nada, no te garantiza que te puedas alcanzar la liberación, ¿no? Porque también hay mucha gente que está con su intelecto y está pensando, bueno, ¿cómo me libero por todo lo que pasé? Y como que están intentando liberarse a través de la mente. Yes.
This is the evolving soul. It is our Gnani calls it the developing I. Yes, it's the pote, the developing I. I am this body. I am in Argentina. I am in Chile. I am a woman. I am a man. You see, I am this goes away as this body leaves, but I am and my darkness and my kashais continue with me. My incomplete vision continues with me, you see.
Yes. El Dada dice esto del yo en desarrollo, ¿no? Yo soy argentina, nací en Chile, yo soy hombre, yo soy mujer, y te morís y seguís con la visión incompleta.
My attachment and abhorrence continues, is the reason why I have to come back into a body again. If I'm very attached to somebody in Germany, I love Germany, I love, you come back in Germany, that's where you get born. If you're, it's every pow, every subtle things that are going inside is the seed, and then the tree arises, you see.
Yes. Por mi apego y por mi aversión es que se vuelve a nacer, ¿no? Por ejemplo, yo amo Alemania, entonces voy a nacer, con mi próxima vida voy a nacer en Alemania. Estas son las semillas que vamos plantando, vamos sembrando en la vida de la ignorancia.
And if the intention is, I really want to meet a God, I really want to meet an enlightened person, I really want to meet someone who has all the answers. You see, I really want, I'm done. I don't want this. That is, I don't want life like this, life, of children, grandchildren, back again, like, But you see, at the same time, during the good times, all of the beautiful times, the grandchild comes, the grandson comes, oh, mama, papa, and then, you again, this seeds of attachment arise, you see. So this is the reason why the causes and effects continue, because it's not as if the world is horrible or terrible. When the world is beautiful, you want to come back to it, you see. Yeah.
Las intenciones, si tú tienes la intención de que quiero encontrar un iluminado, alguien que tenga todas las respuestas, y no quiero tener esta vida, no quiero volver a esta clase de vida. Pero después, sin embargo, no quiero tener hijos y no quiero tener nietos. Pero después cuando vienen los hijos y cuando vienen los nietos, que los amamos y que pasamos buenos tiempos, en esos momentos sí queremos volver. Y estos son apegos que hacen, que crean causas para volver.
Yeah, Anila will have, Anila has a lot of friends her age who still get attached to old men. You see, oh, he's such a wonderful gentleman. He's so nice, I was not treated like that by other men, but look how nice that old gentleman is treating my friend, you see. What you're doing is you're wanting to come back. You see, in other words, even in old age, these desires do not leave, you see. This vasana, these desires do not leave for more life, more beauty, more, you see. And so it's called Mishra Moha. In other words, yes, you like liberation, but you also love life, you see. So a little bit of this and a little bit of this, yes, you see, and it carries on, you see.
Yes, I think we love life because we know we are here. This is in the ignorance is the only thing we know is life as it is.
Yeah, I'm just talking in general, that I'm not for Mahatmas now. I'm talking in general also. You see, now for Mahatmas it is discharge. You see, whether you like life and you like these things and these things, now it is a file that we are settling with equanimity. You're not running away from that which is pleasant and lovely and you love it. You're not running away from your lovely grandchildren or granddaughter or grandson, or you enjoy them, but inside your vitrag, inside you are not really attached. Inside you're not really attached. You see what I'm saying? Because of what is what
Perfect. Anila, por ejemplo, puede decir que hay caballeros que son muy amorosos, que tratan con mucha delicadeza, que les gusta cómo tratan a su amiga, y de alguna manera sutil pensamiento, gusto, es una semilla que la va a hacer volver. Y los deseos no te dejan porque siempre buscamos más belleza. En algún punto amas ser libre, amas la liberación, pero también amas la vida. Y para nosotros Mahatma, porque yo le pregunté ayuda, le digo, bueno, tal vez antes del Gnani lo único que conocíamos era esta vida. Entonces dice, sí, pero ahora como Mahatmas podemos amar y disfrutar a nuestros hijos, nietos, nietas, lo que fuere, pero en el fondo no estamos apegados. Sabemos que son efectos.
You see, so this is how it is, and the beauty of our light, the beauty of where we are, we can see this rag. It is not called, it is not called rag anymore. It is not called attachment anymore. We can see what Gabi likes, what Anila likes, and what Anila dislikes, you see. So aversion and abhorrence and attachment is gone, but it is, you can see what she likes and what she dislikes. That's it. And both are considered files. You see, this both are settled with equanimity. So Yamapura Hu Shuddha Chu, Sampurna Shuddha Chu, Sarvanga Shuddha Chu. You see, I am absolutely pure in all of these things. I'm not the one who can get tainted or attached in this. You see, this is, it's the drama continues at the external level, but internally we are all in a different world, my friends. We are liberated. You see.
Yes. La belleza para nosotros es que ya no tenemos apego o aversión. Podemos ver que algo nos gusta a Nila o a Gaby, o algo que no le gusta a Nila o a Gaby, o a cualquiera de todos nosotros. Y los dos son, resultan con la visión del alma pura, es sin apego ni aversión. Y todo lo que sucede es el drama, y el drama sucede fuera. Nosotros somos libres.
Yeah, so cause and effects do not apply for us anymore, you see. We are, for us, we are far, far removed. The causes are gone, the effect is left, and the effect is accepted for as it is, as scientific, circumstantial evidence. That's it for us, you see. So this is, that has made it very, very simple and easy for us, you see. You don't have to be really worrying about cause and effects. Yes, when we look at and discuss the plight and the horrible situations of these souls who are suffering in the eastern parts of Europe, you know, we see how the world is. We see how it is. You see, we don't. There is no involvement in the sense like your neighbor would get involved. You know, I hate these people. I hate these people. There is no hate here for us. You see, we are aware of effects. You see, we are aware.
Yes.
We are aware of the world of cause and effects, and causes and effects, and effects and causes and effects. Dada says is an unending cycle. It's an unending cycle. It continues. Like we said for this old gentleman, you know, the effects are still continuing. You know, he is having. Before he was having hate for Germans. Now he hates his own soldiers, his own countrymen. You know.
Yes. Yes. La belleza de nuestra luz es poder ver, ¿no? Poder ver, ¿no? Qué es la causa y qué es el efecto. Y esto ya no aplica para nosotros. Lo que nosotros vemos, la causa se fue porque fuimos liberados, somos Mahatmas, y lo que queda es el efecto. Y el efecto lo aceptamos porque es una evidencia científica circunstancial. Y Dada simplificó todo esto para nosotros. Podemos ver a las almas sufriendo en Europa del Este. Podemos ver cómo el mundo es, pero no nos involucramos, no odiamos. Somos conscientes de los efectos. Y el mundo es causa y efecto. Y Dada decía que el mundo es un círculo sin fin y que los efectos van a continuar. Y volvamos a este hombre que estaba sentado en el micro y que decía, antes odiaba a los alemanes y ahora estoy odiando a los rusos.
Yeah. For us, Dada used a simple 4-letter word called F-I-L-E. That's it, file, you see. And in that every effect comes in. Every effect arises as a file, you see. The effect of hunger, the effect of aversion, the effects of, the effects are happening to the owner of the effect and not to us. So the effects, I say, Dada has placed us 1,000,000 miles away from the effect. You see. Don't you ever say that this is happening to me, or why is this happening? Now you're putting, now you're putting your foot over the mouth of Dada. You say, Dada is everything for me in terms of my liberation, and exactly so. So, I am not going to, I'm going to be with Dada and not with anyone else with reference to this, you see.
Dada tiene una palabra de 4 letras que es file, el archivo. Y todos los efectos surgen y surgen como archivos, como file. Entonces, también estamos como lejos del apego y de, a ver, cuando nos liberamos no podemos ver el hambre, la aversión, y es el efecto y el dueño del efecto, no somos nosotros, nos preguntamos por qué a mí. Nosotros, Dada nos puso a miles de millas de distancia de los efectos, lo aceptamos y estamos con Dada.
And the more you understand effect, you see, the more you understand effects. Effects are understood by seeing and knowing them. Effects cannot be understood exactly by suffering them. Now, in this stage, you see, it's reversed, you see. Before, when you were ignorant, you and I were ignorant, we have to go through the effect, you see. And then understand how wrong it is. If somebody hurts you, when you realize how bad it is, if you don't like it, the other person will also not like the same thing, you see. And that is the beginning of liberation at the relative level, you see. You have to suffer that effect, so that you do not want the same to happen to another human being, you see. That is the meaning of understanding effect at the relative level. If somebody says, "Stupido, get out," then you have to realize that this is hurtful, and you will never use those words. So that is the beginning of becoming free from it. You see, but the standard response is, "Who, me? Your mother, your father, you're like this," you see, and so it continues, you see. Simple mathematical equations, that's all. Simple science in operation.
Sí. Yes. Cuanto más entendamos el efecto, poder ver y conocer, no hay sufrimiento. Y no por sufrir lo conocemos. Si sufrimos, eso es por ignorancia. Y si alguien me lastima, para que yo puedo ver que esto, lastima, y yo no quiero que esto le pase a otra persona en lo relativo, porque es doloroso. Entonces, yo no voy a lastimar a otra persona. Y el hecho de no lastimar a la otra persona es también lo que me libera. Y esta es la ciencia en acción, la ciencia de la liberación.
And you say that is the answer to Gabi's question. He said, effects have a goal. All effects. Why human suffering is not, human suffering elevates a human being from every suffering. Every life, every experience lifts up a human being a little higher, this is wrong, is realized, and this should not be so. Human beings should not hurt each other, These kind of things are taught to the little children, Human beings can train their children to become animals too, but nobody does that, you see. They want, they train children, give them good values, you see. All of these things are a part of the effect of a human being as he enters in this world, you see. Of course, now our story is different.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Para Gaby la respuesta, ¿no? El efecto tiene una meta y es que el sufrimiento que experimentaste eleva un poco y te va elevando de a poco cada vez más y te vas dando cuenta que esto está mal y que no hay que lastimar, por ejemplo, ¿no? Y así se enseña a los niños, ¿no? Se les enseña, bueno, a no herir, a no lastimar, y se le van enseñando valores, porque si no los niños serían como animales, pero nosotros les enseñamos. Y así parte de los seres humanos en nuestro mundo vamos como creciendo cada vez más. Y esta es nuestra diferencia.
Okay, so let's take a little break, 10 minutes, and then we'll be back, to finish up, yeah, right, if it's all right, if anybody wants to say anything, we'll definitely take them.
Bueno, vamos a tomar un recreo de 10 minutos y después cuando volvemos, si alguien tiene una pregunta, continuamos, y si no...
Okay. All right. Jai Sachidan.
Jai Sachidan Shuddha.
Jai Sachidan. Thank you, Marcela, and thank you, Patricia, dear.
Jai Sachidan.
So, shall we resume?
Yes.
You know, in the eyes of the awakened one, my dear, there is no difference in the effect. If effect is understood as it is, there's no difference between an earthquake and a human being throwing bombs on a building. In other words, the effect is the effect. The injury is the same. You see? Yeah, the injury is the same. The difference is that the injury is there is no one to blame, and the other one you blame the others that you did it. You see, that's the difference.
Yes. A los ojos del que está despierto no hay diferencia en los efectos. El efecto es el efecto. Y hay dos formas de poder ver esto, ¿no? Y en las personas que está consciente, que está despierto, no hay nadie para culpar. Y cuando no estás despierto, no estás consciente, culpas a todo el mundo. El que tira las bombas y todo lo que pasa.
Yeah, the Gnani, in his magnificent awareness, raises us all to this level of understanding, you see, that understand effect as an effect without further multiplication of the effect, you see. You do not multiply the effect by blaming someone else. Really, the effect is the exact result for the one who suffers the effect, you see. The fault is of the sufferer. The fault is of the sufferer.
El Gnani en su maravilloso conocimiento nos eleva a entender el efecto como efecto. Entonces nosotros no podemos culpar, porque el efecto es el resultado perfecto para la persona que lo está viviendo. Y recordemos que el efecto es del que sufre. El que sufre el efecto es el que tiene el que hizo la causa.
Yeah, this is the Vitrag vision. This vision. Yes.
Hay una partecita importante ahí que en la medida en la que nos enojamos y maldecimos con otros se va multiplicando ese efecto. La maldición tiene un efecto multiplicador que al aceptar el efecto como tal y no blasfemar, no enojarnos, se corta ahí.
Gracias.
Thank you, Fabi. Yes, you see, earthquake destroys cities the same way these bombs destroy cities, you see. The difference is that in an earthquake you can't blame anyone. Everybody comes together and just kind of cleans up the city, and help people, and just whereas, so you say there is no blame in the earthquake. Who are you going to blame in the earthquake, you say? It's the visible doer that gets the blame, you see. Oh, you dropped the bombs, but you say the scientific circumstantial evidence is much more complex than that, you see. it is much more deeper than that those are evidences, limits. Nobody has the ability to do anything. These are all evidence that come together.
Por ejemplo, un terremoto puede destruir una ciudad y las bombas también pueden destruir una ciudad. Pero cuando el terremoto destruye una ciudad, las personas vienen, ayudan a limpiar, ayudan a las personas y no hay culpables. ¿A quién van a culpar? Fue un terremoto. Pero, por ejemplo, si es una bomba, hay un hacedor visible que arrojó la bomba, entonces van a culpar a esa persona. Pero estas son evidencias científicos circunstanciales y esto es mucho más profundo, muchísimo más profundo. Es un límite, no hay nadie a quien culpar, esto es un efecto.
You see, when you see these horrible effects that are going on, and there is no question that they, by all relative standards, these are absolutely horrible. This is absolutely difficult to see, you see. But when you see this, the important thing to see within is what is happening inside us, you see. What is happening? See what is happening to Gabi or to Marcella or to Anila. See what is happening. And in that seeing, there is no opinion, you see. You just see. Yes, the seeing will let you rise to the level of knowing, you see. First you have to see what's happening, how, this world has, this is how the world is. It's a puzzle itself, you see.
Yes, I have to, just a second, please.
That's fine, take your time.
Estoy en Satsang. Sorry, there was a phone call that disconnected. Estos horribles efectos son difíciles de ver, ¿no? Y están pasando, pero cuando los ves y puedes ver qué es lo que está sucediendo, hay que ver dentro de Fabi, de Gaby, de Marcela, y en el ver no hay opinión. Ver te eleva al conocimiento.
And we are all being tested. All Mahatmas are being tested in with reference to where they are standing in their awareness about this, you see. Every day the news brings more news, you see. And today it's here, tomorrow it will be here, tomorrow it will be here, you see. But the point is, there is a lot of amazing things that are also going on in this seeing for us. And that is that we are in an absolutely fearless space, you see. In this ability to see it as it is to be in the fearless space. There is, where you and I exist, there is no power on this earth that can touch us, you see. It is our slippage from this location that traps us into all of this traps of this relative world, you know. Oh, what will happen now? What will happen now? What will happen? You see?
Yes. Los Mahatmas están siendo testeados en estos momentos, en dónde están parados con todo esto que está sucediendo. Pero también estas cosas horribles que están sucediendo, también están sucediendo cosas hermosas. Y podemos ver cómo estamos parados en un lugar sin miedo. No hay poder que nos pueda tocar, nada que nos pueda atrapar en este mundo. Y sí poder ver qué es lo que está sucediendo.
Mm-hmm. And the question really boils down to, has the world not learned anything from its previous experiences? And the answer is not so. In this very life, you know, we were little children when the World War II was going on. Most of us were little ones, you know. Some of us were probably more aware. Some of us were displaced, etc. But the point is that the point is really that this is different. You see, every rise in the evolution of human beings is associated with its own self-preservation instincts, you see. So, you know, this is not something that, you know, there are more different ways in which human beings preserve themselves, you see. You know, yes, there are wars, but then there are also very brilliant minds who are working for peace too, you see. And we have to energize and send our energies to these men who have the power and the authority to make a difference, you see.
Yes. Hay una pregunta, ¿no? Que es, el mundo no aprendió nada de todo lo que experimentó, de todo lo que pasó, de las guerras, de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Algunos de los que estamos acá hemos vivido, aunque éramos pequeños, en la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Pero el punto es que es diferente ahora y que todo surge en evolución, y que los seres humanos tienen un sentido de preservación de muchas maneras, aunque también hay guerras, también hay personas y hay mentes brillantes que están trabajando para la paz. Y para nosotros es enviar energías para estas personas que están creando una diferencia en el mundo.
Yes, you know, you and I, most of us are very far away from these incidents that are happening in Ukraine and Eastern Europe. But, you know, some of our Mahatmas are very close there. You know, they are right there in Germany and Austria, and, you know, they're very, you know, almost adjacent, you know, you can drive into the next country, you know, within a day. That's, you know, that's so close. And yet the force and the power of their existence, the existence of enlightened beings, is a very powerful force, you see, in this world. So many enlightened human beings did not exist in World War II. I'm talking about Mahatmas. Okay, this is a very powerful force. You see, this is a very powerful silent force. You see, yeah, this you have to, send your energies every time you see suffering human beings. You see, may you find relative peace and may you find salvation, may you find the light, whichever way, wherever, may you find the light. And time does not matter, this thing is, that person is gone. No, he's not gone. He's just changed his clothes, his body has changed, that's all, you see. But you and I energized him or her through our silent vidis, through our silent connections, you see. Energize these human beings, you see, who are suffering, just be the representatives of this magnificent liberator of human beings, Dada, through be the force of Dada, be the soldiers of Dada for liberation, you see. Marcella was asking, what about the salvation of the world? You have a role, you and I have a role. Our role is silent. Our role is silent, so start, our work is not finished. Our work has just begun. Our work has just begun, my friends. Our work is magnificently beautiful and non-violent, you see.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tú y yo estamos lejos de Ucrania, de Europa del Este, pero algunos Mahatmas están cerca, en Austria, en Alemania, y tienen este maravilloso poder y fuerza de la existencia, ¿no? Silenciosos estos Mahatmas que no estuvieron en la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
Mm-hmm.
Y tienen esta energía para parar el sufrimiento. Y en lo relativo van a encontrar paz y en lo real van a encontrar la luz. Y cuando decimos que alguien se fue, esta persona no se fue, solamente cambió su ropa. Y nosotros tenemos que enviar nuestras energías silenciosas a todas estas personas, a hacer vidi por todos los que están sufriendo. Nosotros somos los representantes de Dada y a través de estos vidis somos sus soldados. Y nuestro rol es hermoso y silencioso, y es como nuestro trabajo recién comienza. Y es un hermoso trabajo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some of you, I'm Graham. Do you know the name, or Bhavi? Do you know the name of the gentleman who just got the 9 years in prison in Russia? The opposition party, the Voice of Freedom, the tall man who was sentenced to 9 more years. I forgot. I'm blocking on his name. He was poisoned. He was poisoned and then he came back to Russia and he, what's his name? Do you know his name, Graham?
In the Sark Times.
Yeah.
Navalny.
Navalny, yes, Navalny.
Marce.
Yes, Navalny. There's something very interesting that he said yesterday when he was sentenced to 9 more years. And this is history in the making. This is amazing. You know what he said? He said, 9 years, people will say, whoa, 9 years in a Russian prison. You know what he said? He says, for me, it's only two things. The time you go in and the time come out. Going in and coming out. There are only 2 days, 2 events only. going in the prison and then coming out of the prison. You know, in fact, he had a t-shirt made like that. It says going in and out, you see. And this is amazing spiritual and energy of a human being, you see. That is right there in front of us, you see. He just said it's just going in and out. He didn't say, oh, 9 years, oh, 9 years. He was standing there. It's as if he knows that what he has inside him, this spark of freedom, this eternal spark of freedom, cannot be killed, even if the body is killed, you see. Cannot be touched. You see. It's beautiful. You know what he said, you know.
Hay un Narvali, que es un ruso que estuvo en prisión y ahora lo volvieron a poner 9 años más en prisión. Él dice, la gente, todos dicen, 9 años más de prisión, qué horror. Pero él dijo, para mí hay solamente 2 cosas, una es entrar y la otra es salir. De hecho tiene una remera que dice, entrar y salir. Y tiene una alucinante energía que ofrece a los seres humanos, de entrar y salir, sin quejas, parado allí, como si supiera que tiene dentro el brillo y el resplandor que lo libera, que lo vuelve libre.
Mm-hmm. 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 You know, it's also like those who taste relative freedom, you know, freedom from oppression and freedom from, you know, it's very hard for them to really give up that freedom, you know. It is not, so freedom is an inherent part of the spirit of a human being, you see. You can crush a human being, but you cannot crush his spirit, you see.
Yes. Probar el ser libres de la opresión es algo que es inherente al espíritu humano. Podés oprimir a un ser humano, pero no podés oprimir su espíritu.
There are amazing things that Dadashri has said about independence, you know, in personal independence, not country, etc., etc. Yeah, and these are in this new book, Gnani Purush, you know, the new book that is yet to be translated. You know, these books we have now part 4 available. You know, Gnani Purush, and you can see this in the words of Dada. It's just amazing. It's amazingly beautiful. But someday it will come to you. You know, someday it will come to you. We had amazingly beautiful things in Dada's life, even before his enlightenment. You know, that he himself describes incidents, little practical incidents of life. You see. So
Yes.
anyway, so my friend, you know, it's just this total theme of freedom, freedom at the relative level, and then final freedom as Soyamapura, Vishuddhatma, you see.
Hay cosas maravillosas que dijo Dada, ¿no? En lo personal, que están en el libro de él, que todavía no está traducido, que es hermoso y que bueno, ya va a estar para todos disponible, y que cosas que él vio y experimentó incluso antes de su despertar, de su iluminación, y que es increíble los pequeños incidentes que vio. Entonces hay una libertad relativa, pero está la libertad del ser, que yo soy alma pura.
My friends, so we meet until we meet again. We continue our work, our work of liberating trapped human beings. You see, through our vision, through our energies, silent energies.
Y hasta que nos volvamos a ver, estemos haciendo nuestro trabajo silencioso de traer a todas las personas a la visión de lo real.
Shuddhatma Bhagwan, wonderful to be with all of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shuddha.
Jai Satchidanand. Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Herman, Angelique, Gonzalo, yeah, so wonderful, yeah, so wonderful.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Monica, and everyone here, huh? And Kate, Yaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
And Guillermo, Jai Satchidanand. Wonderful, all of you, huh? All right, Shuddhatma Bhagwan, Jai Satchidanand. Thank you.
Jai Satchidanand, Shuddhatma Bhagwan.
Jai Satchidanand.